You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, budgeting for food is hard right now because prices are on the rise due to inflation. But what about budgeting when you're trying to eat healthy? Amber Jenkins talks to health and wellness experts to help learn how to eat healthy while still on a budget.
And the Home Depot hosts a screening of a documentary-style short film that highlights how Home Depot helps rebuild communities after natural disasters, including Joplin after the tornado hit.
And let's take a look at the forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center. You can see that right now we do have some snow on the radar. Nothing really going on as far as tornadoes, that's good. And we're looking at the 7-day forecast coming up in just a little bit as well, Tanya. So a little bit about
4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The former president of the 2023 Joplin High School project graduation is charged with felony stealing. Court documents show 42-year-old Melanie Patterson of Joplin was issued a debit card for the class of 2023's project grad. The documents show the treasurer for Joplin's project graduation noticed suspicious activity on the account and found 5 cash withdrawals not approved by the organization. Those cash withdrawals totaled $1,400. Authorities say Patterson told detectives the debit card in question was stolen and that she had nothing to do with the thefts. To see the probable cause affidavit, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, a tractor trailer goes off the road in Newton County and crashes into the woods. The crash occurred yesterday afternoon at approximately 1:45 on I-44 east of the 2.8-mile marker when a semi approaching the weigh station made contact with another vehicle and took a hard right. The semi then left the road, went down a deep ravine and into the woods. The driver suffered non-life-threatening injuries. He was taken to an area hospital. The tractor and trailer remained upright and the load remained intact. Living a healthy lifestyle doesn't have to break the bank. One way to save money while eating healthy is by buying food in bulk and meal prepping. Now, meal prepping can get a little repetitive at times, but you'll see results in your health and wallet.
That's the biggest tip, just planning ahead, buying in bulk, buying whole foods, staying away from like seed oils and dyes and extra chemicals that they put in just to make things look pretty.
Also keep in mind, upholding a healthy lifestyle starts slow, but with consistency, you will reach your goal. Freeman Health Systems making sure its employees are able to stay healthy. They hosted a fitness fair with 26 vendors showcasing health benefits to Freeman employees. Those vendors included fitness centers, nutrition services, and health organizations.
So that they can maybe just watch what they're eating, maybe just start writing it down, maybe visit with the Y or the Joplin Roadrunners and say, hey, I'm going to start, I can do 3 times a week walking for 30 minutes. Just take away some piece that they can do over the next 3 weeks to 4 weeks to start becoming a healthy habit.
Employees who attended the fair were also entered to win door prizes. On Wednesday, Home Depot in Joplin hosted a screening of a new documentary-style short film that looks at disaster relief efforts surrounding the Joplin tornado. The film is called Hope Builds and was produced by the Home Depot. Yesterday's event also featured a panel discussion with the film's director and a tour of the building's new storm shelter.
I think that, these are all really tragic stories, but I do hope that there's some element of hope in them, that, this is also about people picking the, scraps up after a terrible thing has happened and kind of putting their lives back together and finding some support and some sense of community.
Mayor Doug Lawson was there and even received his own personalized orange apron. Well, the Downtown Joplin Alliance is kicking off the new year with a networking event, and it's called Downtown Now, and it took place at the new Cornell complex. It gives business owners and residents a chance to connect and learn more about what's happening.
Being proud of Joplin gives you a sense of who you are and where you're going, and just kind of digging in. Joplin is such an interesting place because it's kind of big enough that we have really about everything you need, but it's small enough that you can still kind of make a difference, and you can really still be part of what's happening and be part of the development or being part of the change. The Alliance hopes to host more Downtown Now events in the future.
Well, some help is on the way for those in need in the 4 states. Ajinomoto Foods North America donated $1,000 to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states yesterday. The company made the donation to show their appreciation to the Joplin community.
We rely on these community partnerships, and this is such an exciting because it's a new community partnership we're establishing. We have great, wonderful, nearly 25-year community partnerships, and now we're starting this new one, and they help us do what we do here at Ronald McDonald House.
Business analyst at Ajinomoto Foods, Nathan Diamond, serves on the board of the advisors for Project Sweet Peas. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting families of fragile infants and inspiring hope for those affected by pregnancy and infant loss.
We have some snow on the radar this morning. In fact, the snow is coming down enough to where Springfield has issued a winter weather advisory for St. Clair, Cedar, Dade, and Lawrence counties in our area. You can see the snow stretching from northern Oklahoma all the way up I-44 into the Joplin metro area right now, extending up towards Nevada. There are some holes developing in the snow back towards the north and west, so that's pretty good news. This is moving to the south and east, so we'll have some snow for the next few hours, but as we go through towards the lunch hour, conditions are going to start to improve. Zooming in, you can see snow flying across the northern parts of the metro area over towards Carthage, extending up towards Greenfield, and that's where there could be some light accumulations over that way, and then also back down towards the south and west end towards Miami. Some of the road conditions are deteriorating, especially in northeastern Kansas, and here we're getting an update. Some of the roads are snow covered in Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, now down towards Erie and Chanute, also partially covered near Parsons and Oswego. So if you're traveling up in southeastern Kansas, just be aware of that and give yourself a little bit of extra time. The good news is on the Missouri side, road conditions right now are still pretty much clear, and that includes Nevada, Lamar, Joplin. Just the roads are wet and not really causing any travel problems. If you're planning your day, 36 degrees this afternoon for the high with some flurries. Around lunchtime, 32 degrees, 34 by 5 o'clock, and 29 degrees by 8 o'clock. And looking down the lane, we're going to see some morning snow, but a chilly tomorrow, but a warmer weekend ahead, as well as some rain for Monday. And of course, we'll have all the details on that in just a little bit. Tanya?
All right, well, up next, Chef Anthony is continuing to teach us how to fry up fried chicken in the Chef Anthony Test Kitchen.
And later, Pittsburgh State University and International Friends of Pittsburgh welcome international students to our community. You're watching the KOAM Morning News right here on Fox 14.
Welcome back. We've got Chef Anthony Fisher from Pittsburgh High School Culinary Arts in studio this morning, here to show us how to make fried chicken.
Yes. So we have our chicken breast from earlier, and what I have here is seasoned flour. My students just took flour and seasoned it up with their favorite spices so that they kind of had an idea of where they were going.
Well, they know who they're working with here today, so
yes.
You don't know what's in there.
I'm not sure what's in there. Probably some chili powder, some smoked onion and garlic, some white pepper.
Did they test it on something themselves?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably on themselves.
One thing you did show me or tell me during the break was that this chicken came from class, and you've been practicing cutting chicken and butchering chicken.
When I teach chicken butchery and teach them how to break down chickens, we save it all so that we can use it throughout the semester, and this was some that I had left over, so I figured what better way to use it.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have our seasoned flour. We're going to lay our chicken in here first, and then in here I have a couple of eggs and water so that I can kind of just get a wash going.
Okay.
And what it is it's just going to get everything wet so that it'll hold another round of flour.
Okay. So we're going to double bread it.
Yes. Get it nice and wet. Bring it right back over here to our flour and coat it. Make sure we have a nice good coating on there.
What did you mix with the eggs in there?
I put a little water in there.
Water, not milk, but water.
But I prefer to use water because I try to stay budget conscious, and milk is getting expensive.
Yes.
Even eggs are, plus, so
right.
2 eggs is more than enough. An egg could be enough if you mixed it with some water. You would just have to have a smaller pan. So you can make it work with just about anything. And I've been seeing a lot of these, you can use agar powder and tapioca starch to replace an egg. In a baking recipe, you can. But for breakfast, you can't.
Right.
So it just all depends on where you want to go with it. Now here I have some hot oil.
Good news, though, is the price of chickens has already started to go down, and hopefully eggs will follow suit shortly.
Yes. And remember, if you're having trouble finding eggs, Simon Market has eggs all the time. He raises his own chickens for eggs. So you can go in there anytime you want and pick up fresh eggs.
Nice.
And that's usually who I go to for all of my eggs because they're a consistent quality and I never have to question anything. So I don't worry
So
about
he raises
how
those himself.
He raises them himself.
Nice.
So, and I've laid our chicken in here. Notice I laid it away from
You
me.
have quite a bit of oil in this pan.
Actually, there's not that much in there. It's only about a 1/4 inch. As the oil heats up, it expands a little bit, of course, so it looks like there's a little more than what there is. But I keep it down to the lower third of the pan so that there's plenty of wall on there. I can put a lid on it if I needed to.
Okay. What
And-
temperature? I know you were measuring the temperature earlier. Is there like a certain mark you're trying to hit?
I want to keep it under 350 degrees.
Okay.
So somewhere around 300, 350 degrees is a really good area for you to have your temperature in.
And if you were just kind of measuring off of your stove, would that be like low, medium, or?
You would play between medium and medium low, sometimes maybe medium high, just depending upon how hot you wanted it to get. And I've been playing and doctoring with the temperatures just a little bit to make sure I get where I want to be.
Every stove is different, so once you know yours, then you can kind of
Yes.
guesstimate a little bit of.
And look at how beautiful that's turning. It's got that beautiful golden brown.
Okay, this is pretty thin cut that we got it down to a 1/4 inch. I
Yes.
think when you were pounding it out with that exact same pan. So how long do you typically cook that?
Just a few minutes. Have your digital thermometer ready. You can pick up an instant read digital thermometer from our friends over at Allied Restaurant Supply. These are about $10 and they're very, very accurate. They're easy to calibrate with just some ice water, so you don't have to worry about them. You can check them all the time, and these are very reliable.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn our heat all the way off because the residual heat will finish cooking our chicken for us.
Right.
And look at how beautiful it's just sitting there dancing and bopping in the pan.
All right, so when we come back from the break, we're going to
Let you try
pull
it.
it out and try it and see how your students did on those seasonings.
Oh yes, I'm actually interested. Can't wait.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and go to break and come back here in a few minutes. Welcome back. We've got Chef Anthony Fisher in studio again, and we've been making fried chicken. It smells delicious. Just pulled it off the stove a little bit ago. Let's just recap what we did to make it this
Okay.
far.
So we took our chicken. I split it in half the long way, took the 2 lobes off of the breast, and then I laid it in a piece of plastic, pounded it out to about a 1/4 inch thick, and then I laid it into our flour seasoning blend, and then into egg wash, and back into the flour seasoning blend, and into a hot skillet for about 4 minutes.
About 2 minutes on either side.
Yep.
And you were saying like the heat was between like low and medium,
Yes.
kind of varying, but it didn't take long to cook because he had it pretty thin.
Yes, I had it pretty thin, and we watched watched the way that it goes, and I started with hot oil, so it's easier to maintain that way.
Now your students made this seasoning. How do you like to make your seasoning? You start with flour.
I start with flour, and I immediately go to salt and pepper first, and then I look to decide which ways that I want to go, depending upon what my mood is. I'll go things like if I want to use this for chicken parmesan, then I'll go very herby. I'll go oregano, some rosemary, some thyme, just kind of depending upon where I want to be at the end of it. This works really nice because you can take this and then put it onto a hot pan, lay some mozzarella over the top of it, put it in the oven for just a few minutes, pull it out, put it on top of some nice pasta, and you have a really nice portion. Now, everybody's trying to buy wise and eat healthy. 1 chicken breast will make 2 servings doing it this way. And you're not going to feel like you're not full. And you can use pasta. And I always say, oh, make your pasta yourself, because we've done that here.
Yes, we have.
And then create your own sauce, make your sauces from scratch. It doesn't take real long. You could spend a Saturday or a Sunday and meal plan, or just your day off and do all sorts of meal planning ideas and come up with an idea what you want to do every week. So, and then you can find all sorts of great calendars out there that have different recipes for every month. And I get those brought into me. My students absolutely love them. Ooh, look at that. And it's still juicy.
Yeah, I don't know if we get a close up of that. That's beautiful.
Now this makes a great sandwich. Like I said, you can do it on chicken parm, You can do this with rice, put it with rice, whatever you want.
I'm stalling because I know it's very hot, so I don't want to burn my mouth. It's steaming still.
You ready?
Here it goes.
They did a good job.
They did very good.
I love how their ideas just start to take off. And it's never one of them with just an idea. Because one will start putting something in, then somebody else will chime in, well, what about this, and what about this, and let's do this. So their imaginations just start exploding.
That's really good. Yeah,
Isn't it great?
they did excellent.
And this is a wonderful meal for you to do really quick throughout the week. Leave them laid in plastic, put them on a plate, put them in the refrigerator. They'll hold for about 6 days.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to do it that day, but you can have it available. You can throw this on a breakfast
That's
sandwich.
6 days you need to take into account how long you've had it in there before you cut it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, depending upon how long you've had it. Now, if you buy it from the grocery store and bring it home and put it in there, you'll get about 6 days.
There you go. All right, well, you can watch again and find out how we made this with the recipe on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Just check it out a little bit later in the show. Any idea what we might be doing in the coming weeks?
I think we might go on a little healthy kick.
Okay.
And
it's a new year.
It is a new year. Go a little on a healthy kick. I'll see what we can't pull out of the farms. And we'll talk to Martinez Produce, maybe make a wonderful vinaigrette and a salad.
Mm-hmm. And you were thinking about maybe in the upcoming weeks, maybe doing a meatloaf too.
Oh yes, I love meatloaf. Meatloaf is one of my absolute favorite things. So I was thinking about doing a meatloaf.
Of course, we got Mardi Gras coming up, so we'll have to do something with that too.
Of course,
I'm
you
gonna
can't
make you
forget
do
Mardi
something
Gras.
with that. Yeah.
I love Mardi Gras is a great time to experiment with food, and if I can get my hands on it, maybe we'll do something with clams.
That would be good. Yeah. A lot of things ahead this semester, this spring, winter.
That's right. We have our culinary showdown coming up, where we're hosting, and then we'll travel to Ozark to compete there as well. We have a baking competition coming up that's being hosted by Parsons High School, which we're really excited for. I have about 20 students already signed up and ready to compete.
That's awesome.
So we have all sorts of adventures and endeavors coming up. We just got to stay on track.
Well, all right. Welcome to 2023 and Happy New Year.
You as well.
We'll be right back. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Staff Sergeant William Ferguson. The Coffeyville, Kansas native served from 1941 to 1945 and from 1957 to 1972 as part of the 89th Field Artillery 25th Division, 1st Cavalry. This highly decorated veteran earned numerous awards, such as the Marksman Badge with Rifle Bar, the Sharpshooter Badge with Carbine Bar, and the Marksman's Badge with Rifle, just to name a few. To Staff Sergeant William Ferguson, we thank you. Today's four-state hero.
You know, Pittsburgh State University and International Friends of Pittsburgh are welcoming international students by hosting them to local people and some home-cooked meals. Yum.
Yeah, KOAM Shugum Bomadelli has more.
The first day of new International Student Orientation Week kicks off, a time for international students to get acquainted with their new community.
This is a night where International Friends of Pittsburgh helps tell them about friendship families and different organizations and what resources are available for them.
The orientation party is geared towards making new students feel comfortable and making sure they know about the new resources they need.
Have someone to come to welcome them to their homes. It just kind of makes the homesickness feel a little bit less and just helps them feel comfortable in Pittsburgh while they're here studying.
Speaking to some new students, they tell me how excited they feel for the future that lies ahead.
Excited about the course, about the college and the environment that I'm getting here. I'm pretty much excited about that, and I feel so much happy about the things they are coming through, that they are explaining me with all the things that the university provides us.
Being in was part of America because it gave me a great experience. I felt the student life, and I'm growing as a professional in my field, in my major.
One international student volunteer says Some new students are anxious.
I can tell that a lot of them are confused, and that's one of the things that we want to be here for as orientation leaders, to help them not be so confused and make sense of the new culture they're experiencing. But I also see a lot of excitement, and I think that's really fun, and I can remember that excitement too.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
The orientation dinner took place at the Activities Center of St. John's Lutheran Church.
That looked like a pretty good meal. Big turnout, too.
Yeah, it's nice that they do that. Got to
Absolutely.
welcome them into our community.
Yep. I hope they like snow.
Yeah, they're getting it today. All right, we'll be right back with more news and weather when we return.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30 on the dot. Some co-workers of a local Walmart employee are reaching out to help their colleague. 75-year-old Bruce Winch works at Walmart in Joplin. His co-worker set up a GoFundMe account for him in hopes of raising enough money to help Bruce retire.
I've always loved him, and everybody's always loved him. He's always grateful. He's always greeting you, asking your day, but Padre always has the love from Walmart associates, and even our customers.
You can help Padre by clicking the link in the story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, some help is on the way for those in need in the 4 states. Ajinomoto Foods North America donated $1,000 to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the 4 states yesterday. The company made the donation to show its appreciation to the Joplin community.
We rely on these community partnerships, and this is such an exciting because it's a new community partnership we are establishing. We have great, wonderful, nearly 25-year community partnerships, and now we're starting this new one, and they help us do what we do here at Ronald McDonald House.
Business analyst at Ajinomoto Foods, Nathan Diamond, serves on the board of advisors for Project Sweet Peas. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to support families of fragile infants and inspire hope for those affected by pregnancy and infant loss. Well, many people want to start a healthy lifestyle as they start the new year. However, some realize being and eating healthy in this economy can be expensive. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to health and fitness experts about having a healthy lifestyle without breaking the bank.
Upholding a healthy lifestyle can be difficult for someone who's on a budget. However, what's in your wallet doesn't have to hold you back.
I think it's more of a stereotype. You can definitely still eat on a budget and eat healthy. I just always recommend, keeping it simple, eating whole foods. You don't want to eat things that have a lot of extra, they'll put in extra chemicals and oils just to make things look better and taste a little bit better. Those things aren't good for you.
Buying clean, whole foods in bulk can be cheaper than eating out. Meal prepping can get a little repetitive at times, but you'll see results in your health and wallet.
I mean, honestly, anymore, just to get a fast food meal is about $15 a person, which is insane, but you can definitely still eat on at home on a healthy or a cheaper budget for that.
Eating healthy is only half the battle. You can get active from your home using household objects as well.
I like to ask people whenever I do an assessment here, do you have a couch at home? That's a piece of equipment. Do you have a countertop at home? Do you have a wall? Do you have a bed? Do you have a chair that doesn't have wheels on it? Those are all pieces of equipment that we can do numerous things on. I mean, I could build a 2-hour workout for 5 days a week using just the equipment that I just named.
Thinking outside the box when it comes to getting active can save money and make your fitness goals more attainable.
So whenever people realize that they have so many things we can call exercise equipment actually already in their home, I do see a sense of excitement. People that maybe had exercised in high school or during their college days or just before they had kids or before they got really busy or they have to work 2 jobs.
With the economy changing and inflation fluctuating, starting a healthy lifestyle can seem discouraging. But with determination and opportunistic thinking, a healthy lifestyle is achievable for anyone.
The experts also told Amber to remember that having a healthy lifestyle could start slow, but with consistency, you will reach your goal. Well, this morning we've been discussing social media and mental health.
That's right. In just 5 years, TikTok has amassed more than 1 billion global users, and that's a lot of eyes watching a lot of content. Last month, the U.S. government in several states banned TikTok on most federal devices over national security concerns that so far has no public evidence to support.
Hear that? Public evidence? There
Yes.
is evidence, though, of another risk: social media's impact on mental health, particularly among Generation Z. A psychologist says that as smartphones and social media grew, so did the rate of depression among teens, nearly doubling between 2004 and 2019.
And of course, that brings us to our question this morning, and that is social media dangerous for teenagers? We want to hear from you at koamnewsnow.com/vote or on the KOAM app, Facebook, or of course you can scan the QR code as well. And you can see the data is still showing 90% saying yes and 10% no. So
Maybe some of the Gen Zers woke up and liked it.
no, they're in bed. They're still in bed right now. I would be. All right, so interesting information. Let's take a look at the radar right now, because we have some interesting stuff on radar too. This might get you depressed if you don't like snow. We're looking at quite a bit of snow, especially up towards the north and east, and as a result, the winter weather advisory is in effect for St. Clair, Cedar, Dade, and Lawrence counties, and that goes until noon today. But on the western side of that system, snow is already starting to taper off in the Joplin metro area, as well as down I-44 into Miami. And if we take a look at our day planner, you can see that we're expecting a high of 36 today, with the flurries ending by noon. And for your lunch hour, we're expecting temperatures right at freezing, but then by 5 o'clock, generally around 34 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And then by tonight, we're going to be seeing temperatures dropping down into the 20s. And right now, we're looking at temperatures in or around freezing across the area with northerly winds. We'll have more weather and news when we return. And musicians and friends are mourning the loss of great guitarist Jeff Beck. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and Grammy Award winner is being remembered for his incredible instrumental skills. Ashley Dvorkian takes a closer look and a look back on his career.
A shocking loss out of the music world. Legendary guitarist Jeff Beck has died at the age of 78. A statement on behalf of his family says, "It is with deep and profound sadness that we share the news of Jeff Beck's passing. After suddenly contracting bacterial meningitis, he peacefully passed away yesterday. His family asked for privacy while they process this tremendous loss." Jeff Beck's first hit single was 1967's Beck's Bolero, which featured future Led Zeppelin members Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones, and future Who drummer Keith Moon. He rose to fame as a member of the Yardbirds before going out on his own. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, as a member of the Yardbirds in 1992 and as a solo artist in 2009. Beck was ranked 5th in Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. His guitar work was also featured in the movies, with film soundtracks including Stomp the Yard, Casino, Honeymoon in Vegas, and Twins. He recorded with everyone from Stevie Wonder and Buddy Guy to Tina Turner and Mick Jagger. Beck had recently toured in support of his album with Johnny Depp, 18. Among those sharing their thoughts, Black Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi wrote, "Jeff was such a nice person and an outstanding, iconic, genius guitar player." Kiss member Gene Simmons noted, "No one played guitar like Jeff." Paul Stanley called him one of the all-time guitar masters and added, "From the Yardbirds and the Jeff Beck Group on, he blazed a trail impossible to follow." Jeff Beck is survived by his wife, Sandra. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And Jeff Beck won 8 Grammy Awards and has sold more than 5 million albums worldwide. Let's take a look outside. You can see a lot of folks are waking up to snow-covered ground this morning with cold northwesterly winds. We'll have all the forecast when we come back, so stay with us. Well, we have some snow on radar this morning and also on the ground, covering the ground in some places, including just outside of our studios here south of Pittsburgh, also covering the ground in Joplin. So if you're waking up this morning with the white stuff, yeah, winter has made a little bit of a comeback. You can see a winter weather advisory is in effect for some of our counties, St. Clair, Cedar, Dade, and Lawrence counties. That goes until noon today. As you can see, the rain or snow is now starting to move through the metro area. This is all moving to the south and east. So everyone's going to see a little bit of snow as we head through the day. Some places accumulating a little bit more than others. We'll make it up to around 36 degrees this afternoon. Lunchtime 32, 34 by 5, and down into the 20s by this evening. Temperatures right now are generally right at or slightly below freezing, except ahead of the system, it's still 34 in Bella Vista as well as Cassville. And actually, right now, we're about a couple of degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago. If you're heading out, it feels a lot colder out there with winds out of the northwest. And as a result, temperatures are feeling like in the teens in Chautauqua, Independence, Parsons, Neodesha. A little bit colder also in our area with temperatures feeling like it's in the 20s. 21 is what it feels like right now in Mount Vernon. You can see the snow on the ground in Joplin with that burst that we had also covering our camera. 33 right now in Joplin with northwest wind at 14. Feels like 23 out there with a dew point of 30 degrees. And we're going to see temperatures in the 30s today with the snow ending around lunchtime. And then this afternoon, temperatures in the mid-30s. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Sam. The New York Times reports Twitter has considered selling usernames to boost revenue. The Times cites two people with knowledge of the potential plan who said Twitter's employees have held conversations since at least December about selling some usernames. Engineers discussed hosting online auctions for the usernames. It's not clear if the plan will move forward. New owner Elon Musk said in December he wanted to begin eliminating inactive accounts and free up 1.5 billion usernames. Twitter has been in turmoil since he bought the social media platform for $44 billion back in October. Well, the White House confirms President Joe Biden does not support a ban on gas stoves. That comes after Consumer Product Safety Commissioner Richard Trumka suggested to Bloomberg he may pursue such action. He told the outlet gas stoves are a hidden hazard and that products that cannot be made safe can be banned. Pollutants from gas stoves have been linked to asthma and other respiratory conditions, but more than a third of households in the U.S. have them. The CPSC also confirmed Wednesday it is not planning to ban gas stoves. It might seek to restrict emissions on them, however. One industry trade group says improving ventilation in homes would be the best solution. We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. We've seen a lot of KOAM TV co-workers come and go over the years, but none who've been around longer than one guy who we affectionately call the Wizard.
He's been conjuring up TV magic from behind the curtain for over 47 years, but now he's decided to begin a long-earned retirement. But we can't say goodbye without saying a hello.
So we take a moment to introduce you to the old friend you've never met.
Wanted to do this in the control room because it is one of the few things that has been at this TV station longer than we have.
Control room. That's misnamed from the very beginning.
He knows the station inside and out. You might not know his name or face, but generations of KOAM viewers know the voice.
You've been watching KOAM TV, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Dale Switzer was a young 20-something when he and his new bride made the trip to their new home for his new job at KOAM TV. That was in 1975. In the decades since, Dale has been a lot more than an announcer. He's made appearances on live TV.
I was hoping we would have some good weather to talk about today. I like to be associated with good weather.
And in commercials.
Dang, man, but nobody's going to care what kind of boots you wear to a bank robbery.
And pulled levers behind the scenes, directing music shows and kids shows and newscasts, long enough to work alongside hundreds of colleagues. Some you've forgotten, and some might seem familiar.
My son had a way of saying his name.
What was that?
Brian Williams.
In his early days as the station's artist, Dale sketched the ads that appeared in local newspapers and TV Guide, and never stopped creating caricatures of coworkers as they moved on to other jobs.
They were leaving, I believe, just to get those drawings, I'm pretty sure.
Dale mastered digital art when computers were still young. As the technology evolved, Dale's creations did too. in commercials, special projects, and documentaries. Even in retirement, Dale will continue finding creative outlets and projects such as his personal websites. You want to check out lovewellhistory.com.
I've been neglecting lately, but get back into that.
Happy retirement. And here's to you for enriching the lives of four-staters for nearly half a century in ways they never knew. It's about time they knew your name. Dale Switzer.
Thanks for pulling me out into the light.
Cheers.
Briefly.
Well, we recorded a roughly 1 hour conversation with Dale as he gives us an inside look at the history of this TV station and the people behind it.
And you can see the entire conversation and discussion on the KOAM YouTube page. It's titled 47 Years of KOAM History with Dale Switzer. You'll hear some more behind the scenes stories that you've never heard before. We'd love for you to check it out.
Now you can go directly to the KOAM YouTube page with this QR code, or look for the link on KOAMnewsnow.com and our Facebook page.
I hope he's enjoying his retirement and the snow this morning.
I know, yeah, man.
Pretty nice.
He's definitely going to be missed around here.
Definitely.
Some big
very
shoes
talented,
to fill,
extremely
for sure.
talented individual. We're going to miss him a lot. Well, let's look outside right now. You can see the snow on the ground there in Joplin with a temperature of 33 degrees. It feels like 23 because the northwest wind at 14 and the humidity is 89%. And you can see on our forecast, we're expecting temperatures to stay in the 30s for the most part. The snow will be ending from northwest to east as we go through the morning. And by this afternoon, we'll see partly cloudy skies with temperatures still in the 30s on northwesterly winds. And then the clouds will start to move away as we go through the evening hours. And then overnight, we're going to see lows in the 20s across our area. Could see some teens, especially up to the north and east, where they're going to have a little bit more snow up there. Northerly winds across the area. Then as we go through Friday afternoon, mostly sunny skies, northerly winds, but it's going to feel definitely cool out there with highs in the 30s for the most part, maybe some 40s out towards the west in Sedan and Howard. Then Friday night into Saturday morning, we're going to see lows once again in the 20s, especially lower 20s off towards the east, and southeasterly winds starting to turn around and bringing up a little bit of moisture. Then as we go through Saturday afternoon, partly cloudy skies, highs in the 50s, so it's going to feel pretty nice out there. And then as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, not as chilly, with lows generally in the 40s on southerly winds. And then if we take a look at the next 7 days, we're going to be seeing the snow ending this morning, and then we'll see a high of around 36. Then on Friday, mostly sunny skies. It'll be cold, but you know, that's typical for January with a high of 39. Then on Saturday, partly cloudy and 51, so we'll call it mild. Don't forget to set your clock back as we go Saturday night into Sunday with a high of 61 on Sunday. No, it's actually spring forward. Fall back, spring forward. So it's actually, this is wrong. This needs to be spring forward. And then on Monday, we're going to see some rain. Actually, why is that even on there? I think that was a mistake. This is not, it's not time for this yet. This needs to be taken off. I'll fix that a little bit later. Some morning rain on Monday with a high of 65, and then a little bit cooler on Tuesday with 57, and a better chance of storms on Wednesday. Some of those storms could be strong. We'll keep an eye on that. Then as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we could have a repeat of what we had this morning, with some of the rain changing over to some snow in the morning and a high of 49. Then on Friday, increasing clouds in 51, and then yet another system on Saturday with a high of 45. And this system, as we go Saturday night into Sunday, could it be a little bit more significant of a winter storm situation? And then beyond that, we could be looking at a return to more Arctic air as we head towards the latter part of January. So forgive me on that time clock thing, that'll need to be fixed. But other than that, not a bad forecast across our area. Of course, we'll have more news and weather when we return.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. CBS News has learned that more documents marked classified have been found in an additional location connected to President Biden. The material is from his time as vice president. The discovery was made after lawyers for President Biden found roughly 10 documents at his D.C. think tank in Washington back in November. U.S. attorney investigating the situation is aware of the additional documents. Californians are trying to clean up while they prepare for another round of heavy rainfall and strong winds. It could take days for the floodwaters to completely recede in the central California town of Merced. And down in Los Angeles, the sinkhole that swallowed 2 cars continues to grow. and may keep growing as the rain picks back up. The entire state is expected to get hit with several more storms over the next week. And the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students will be in court today, where he will be asked if he wants to waive his right to a speedy trial. It could allow Brian Koberger more time to enter a plea for the charges against him. The search warrant for his apartment has been sealed temporarily, with the judge saying the details could prematurely end the investigation and create a threat to public safety.
And here's a look at your 7-day forecast and 10-day forecast. And just as another reminder, do not do anything with your clocks. That was an error on the forecast earlier. Sorry about that. I've changed that now to partly cloudy on Sunday with a high of 61. Next chance of rain will come in on Monday morning with a high of 65, but then we turn a little bit cooler for Tuesday, but still mild at 57. Then a bigger round of storms possible on Wednesday. Some of this could be strong. And then as we go into Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we could have a repeat of what we saw this morning, with the rain changing over to some snow in the morning. And then Friday, increasing clouds, and then another chance of rain on Saturday, and a cold rain at that with a high 45. Then as we go into Saturday night into Sunday, we could see some of that changing over to snow as well. So winter is kind of trying to make a comeback, as you know, it is still winter on the calendar. We can't forget about that.
It is winter.
We've just been spoiled lately.
Yeah, not spring, and when we spring forward.
That's right.
All right, well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
That's right. Have a great morning, everyone.